Hello,
everybody.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
You're currently listening to the official Three Slices of Bread podcast. I am your host, Jojo, alongside with
Ariel ben Avraham.
And Eytanel ben Abraham.
and cut. See.
See.
She didn't do anything. She just breathed
I'm
in.
smiling.
I'm sorry.
I'm smiling.
All right.
All right.
I'm so sorry. I can't do this.
Yeah, it's okay. All right, ready? I'm just gonna start and just go with it. All right, whatever happens.
All right.
So in today's episode, we will be covering the influence of social media and how it would affected our lives in this generation.
Mm-hmm. The influence of social media can go in many ways. You could look at it from many directions, depending on how much you know about it, social media. If you understand what the idea of it was, then you could look above it. You could use it to your advantage. But when you're so closed off and so comfortable in this little bubble that they've very successfully put you in, you're not gonna know what's right or wrong. You're not gonna know a lot. All you're gonna know is what's in the bubble. Now you see it a lot with kids more because they're growing up in a place where the social media is more forced and more popular. It's like it's very easy to get in to just really let it control you. Like, I mean, we could take social media itself as a very, let's just call it a very comfortable couch. It's good. It's right in front of you. You know it's a comfortable couch, and you know you don't have to get off. So of course you're gonna sit on it. It's easy, and the more you relax into the couch, the less how do I say it? The less interesting anything else sounds. Like if you were told to take out the trash when you were standing up, you'd be fine with it. Maybe you'll be a little annoyed, but you'll be fine with it. But if you're sitting on the couch, you're comfortable, you're really locked into this one area, you're not going to have your mind on anything else than sitting on that couch. Now, we aren't trying to make this podcast the same. We don't want it to be some sort of thing that brings others down. We're here to spread a message that most people need to hear. I have a lot of people here need to hear, where people's lives aren't judged off of the pictures they post, the stories they show their friends. You could look at an influencer's life on social media compared to the real life. The social media life looks amazing and looks like a dream. And the real life is just what? They're just sitting down in a chair doing nothing. That's why it could be very misguided.
Okay, so yeah, I agree with you. I also, one thing that I wanted to talk about that social media really affects is, so you realize how when you started social media, that's when all your insecurity and some things that you don't need to be insecure about, it just starts coming in. Like before social media, I was fine. And but then when I started social media and I was exposed, every single time I swipe, every time I open my phone, there's always someone to compare yourself with. And I feel like that becomes a habit to the point where you don't even know that you're doing it sometimes, and it can really affect your life mentally and physically.
So yeah, you're definitely right when it comes to that hook that it could have on you, where it's very easy to judge yourself off of so many people because they're there. They're there to compare. And that could affect everybody in their own sad way, you know? Even if you have a happy life, you could still find somebody on social media that makes their life look better. There's always going to be some guy, some girl who's having more fun than you in the terms of social media. So you can't look at them and say, oh, they're so much better than me. What they're doing is much better than what I'm doing. And a lot of people get wrapped up into other people's lives. You know, it's like that delusion where they don't enjoy their lives, or maybe they did before social media, but they've been convinced that their life isn't a life to enjoy. So they've been like infatuated with other people's lives. That's what it could do to a person.
Well, in the general idea of when it comes to comparing yourself, people need to realize that once you compare yourself to someone else, you lose because you're not that person and you're your own special person. You don't compare these things because of how gifted and how blessed you are to be you. You just need to appreciate that and trust yourself. And when you lose that trust within yourself, there's not much alignment and centeredness, and it's pretty hard to get back up. So, in general, social media has affected many people, good and bad, goes different for, but in the main general idea was to control what you think. And you see this by the news. The news is out there, as information for free. And when you turn on the news, it's always something negative in a way. And from what people watch, it always is negative. When you look at the influencers, quote unquote, in the music industry, in the film industry, very dark stuff and very misleading stuff towards the youth, our generation, which is very, very much bringing us down as a humanity and lowering the vibrations. So that's why we need to stay strong and look ahead of this, because the shit that you listen to and the shit you look at, it's going to affect you, because everything that you see, everything that you experience, your soul remembers that. Your soul, it's written within you, because every single second that you live in your life will be remembered, and it will be a part of your life. It will be part of the lifetime that you are living. So with that being said, you have to realize what you're consuming. And this is a big, big thing that's going on, where people are consuming so, so much. And the information and the objects and the materials that we get and buy, it's all influenced. I know that if this wasn't such a big thing and it's just out there, then people wouldn't give a shit about it. Some of these brands that have a big name and it just has its name on it. And you see the big people that are put there specifically doing the stuff that they're doing and being told to do it, which is very sad, by the way. I hope that, things go well for them, but just another soul that I hope the best for, because it's very sad. And it's very sad to see watch it happen. And at the end of the day, just be yourself. That's it. You just have to be yourself. That's the main thing that people don't really kind of understand in a way. But I think that everyone should know and realize and have that moment where they appreciate how special and how gifted they are to be them and what makes them so unique. And yeah, that's just the main thing.
Okay, so I agree with you, Ariel and Eytanel. Both of you, I agree with both of you actually. And so I agree with you with the part where you have to be yourself. And I mean, you're you. Everyone is here and everyone is different in their own ways. And I guess, okay, this is kind of negative, but social media is distracting you in a way from being yourself, because when you're on social media, you're basically following the crowd. Whatever the crowd believes, you'll believe it, even though you don't think that yourself, if that makes sense. So when you're programmed to do that, soon you'll believe whatever the social media wants you to believe. And then you're basically one of their puppets. I guess a way of reprogramming, that's a good word, I guess a way of remembering yourself or just going back to who you truly are is to just be away from social media and then do detoxing. That's what I did I don't remember for how I did actually. Wait, did I tell you guys that I did that for in the beginning of last year for 5 months? No TikTok, no um social media.
I'm pretty
Beginning.
sure, yeah, you
Wow, I
said
don't remember that. No.
that's impressive.
Detox is like cleanse, right? Yeah.
No social. I only use YouTube Shorts, but like not much because it wasn't as entertaining, so I just didn't use it. But yeah, so I guess detox, and then after I did that 5-month detox, I just felt completely new. Like you just feel like, and then you go back to social media, you scroll through, and then you see what people are into, and you just like respectfully, it's really stupid. I'm like you scroll through it and it's really useless and it doesn't benefit us except that it just distracts us from, what we're here to do. So yeah. Okay, your turn. Or I shouldn't say that, but
It's your turn.
No, I mean like with throw.
there's no turns though.
Yeah, there's no turn. It's your turn.
Okay, can I say please?
Yeah, go ahead, come on.
Oh wait,
You have group leader's
I have
permission.
I actually have a list of things I want to talk about, but then when I'm on the screen, I just suddenly do not know how to read. Like it doesn't even look like English.
Back to school. Oh, I'm kidding.
Okay, anyways, let's see.
Well, put that finger down, bro.
Well, I'm just
Wait,
waiting for it to cook.
We're waiting for her to cook, but the oven isn't even on.
what are you talking about?
Nothing, Jojo.
I'm not.
Go for shoot for
You
the stars,
got it.
Jojo. You got it.
You got it.
You go, girl.
Shoot for the stars, aim for the moon.
So, okay, let's talk about one of my fears actually that I discovered a few days ago. Actually, I'm being dramatic. That was yesterday, not a few days ago. Yesterday, I was about to go to sleep, actually, and then
Actually,
I should probably just fix my sleeping schedule. I keep saying I always do, but so I was about to go to sleep, but then I remembered I just had the feeling to write, right? So I just wrote down, and then I guess it's not that important, but to me it is. But I found out that I have a fear of living in fear, and that comes from social media because I'm so scared of judgment and what everybody thinks. And that comes from social media. Everything I do, I always fear of what people will think. And that comes from, I repeated that like 3 times. I guess I found out the reason why I have that fear, which is starts from social media because I'm so, what's the word? There's a word. I need other people's validation, right? And then so when you're on social media, that's where you get all the validation. It could be fake or real, but then you get all the validation from social media and you're so used to and dependent on social media that when you're off social media and you don't have that attention, you feel worthless. Okay. So I think that's one negative. Actually, there's a lot of negative. I don't know why I said one, but that is one thing that really affected me is that I need validation from social media or other people. And if they give me a bad response, I will take it very personally. And that's where my fear of judgment comes. And actually, oh yeah, Ariel, I think I told you already, but I told Eytanel, but starting this podcast is very, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking, but it's been like very nerve-wracking for me. Have I told you that?
Mhm.
Like just thinking about the podcast and thinking about this podcast being out is it makes me really nervous is because I care so much about what other people think. And I think that's why social media has affected on me.
would you say you take in other people's opinions more than you take in your own opinions?
I feel like it's from other people and then it gets to me and then it becomes a part of my belief.
So let's say you have okay, let's just take a movie for an example. You have an opinion on a movie, and then there's another opinion from another person. Would somebody else's opinion like put a dent in your opinion?
I don't know. Depends. That's what I'm trying to. Oh, the burp. No, they didn't. No, it's still there. Okay, it doesn't. That's what I'm trying to do. I guess in a way, if people, so example, what you said, it's if you like a certain thing a lot, like if you like, what's your favorite food?
Huh?
What's your favorite food?
Steak.
Hold on now. You can't just take it down to one, two, because there's three. I have three favorite foods.
Love fruits though. Love.
Fruit, that's not a food though. That's like a munch. Not a
It's food.
not
It's
that.
food.
Steak, lamb chops, burger, chicken sandwich, schnitzel. I don't know if you know what that is.
Okay, whatever your food, whatever you like, okay? So that's your opinion, right? And that's what I'm trying to work on. So if I really like this thing and I love everything about it, but if another person's opinion about it, like, okay, let's do steak, okay? You like steak. And if an this is a really bad example. I don't know how to put it in an example. Like if another person's if you like a certain subject, right? And if another person says something about it that is not a positive opinion, you would still think the same about that subject. So I guess in a way you kind of have to apply to yourself. But when it comes to yourself, like, okay, let's say like I like my hair or something, and then someone is like, no, I don't like your hair. I think that affects you a lot more than when you like a certain that subject, that other subject, or that other food.
Who I am is what I love to do. What impact I'll make on myself and on others. Who I am is what I choose to do, who I choose to be.
What makes you you?
What makes me me, yeah. And everybody's unique in their own way. That's why there's always going to be an answer. Even if you don't know it, there is an answer.
So that's why when you follow other people's words, then you're not.
Be you. That's the thing with you could give advice, but I don't recommend giving advice at such a young age because you haven't really experienced enough to give advice to people, sometimes older or younger than you. But
Well, you could
what were we
still
talking
give
about?
advice.
Yeah. In a smaller area, not in a big way. Like don't tell somebody to make such a big step in their life without completely knowing what's going on.
Well, it depends who's giving the advice.
Would you take advice from me about soccer?
Because soccer is life. It's part of life. And let's say I just do something stupid and you're just like, literally, you could have approached this in this way. Because there's stuff that I don't see when I'm on the field and someone else can see when I'm not on the field. You're off the field.
Would you take advice from somebody who has no experience in soccer, never seen a game?
It depends. Again, it depends what it is.
Okay.
Because you could find so many connections between like even between just different forms of art. Like you could say dancing, you could say music, and then you have the musician telling the dancer to express themselves and express it in the way that they dance, the way that they move. Just like when they would play the tunes and they would express themselves.
Yeah. I think when people say, "Who are you?" you could just say, "I'm me." You can't like that's kind of degrading to have to put yourself down to words, you know? I am me. That's who I am. It'd be insulting to have to put myself down to words, you know?
That's interesting though, like when you ask people who you are, obviously when most people answer that, they answer through their physical and their more
Material.
yeah,
Like I
in
have a
that
lot of money,
sense.
yeah.
Um,
I'm rich. Yeah. Because that's what they think matters. When you really look about who you are, this is a good way of saying it. Who you are is what continues to travel after you pass away. That's who you are. Whatever like imagine yourself as an actor and the characters that you play are the lives that you live in. You lived your life as this one character. You move on to another movie. You're still you. You're just in a new character. That's who you are. Everything else is just materialistic.
surprise me.
What
I'm sorry,
what is your guys' favorite colors?
Hmm.
blue. Any
Mhm.
type of blue
That's
or
the most
turquoise.
basic.
Blue.
That's basic though. Like get
Turquoise, man. That's not.
okay.
Did you say blue was? Did you just say blue was what?
Everybody says blue. I've never met a person who hasn't said blue.
Well, because it's a
Some
good
people try to be different and they say
Okay, what's your
green,
favorite color?
blue. But people try to be different, like orange. Like nobody likes orange.
Look at you judging.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Judging.
Yeah, okay. And then when we turn off the cameras, bro, I'll watch. What?
You're good at
I think
doing
one
it.
person should just say, okay, well, and thank you. Good, good.
If you're listening in the
And if you're still here, good afternoon, okay. And if you're still here, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
no, I was gonna say
What?
to tell you that if have a good morning And if you're watching in the afternoon, and if you're watching later in the day, have a good afternoon and good evening.
If you're watching in the day, have a great morning, and if you're watching, okay, I'm starting in the middle. If you're watching in the day and you're still here, have a great morning, and if you're watching later in the day, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Bye.